Hello, 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 everyone. Unpopular topic coming up. Okay. In this series so far, we've talked about our past relationship with money, how we naturally handle risk. I think we've covered a lot of topics, haven't we? And it's all around money, right? We went pretty in depth about the rock wealth star, getting wealthy and staying wealthy, and consistency. Now it's time, guys, to talk about saving money. I told you this is not a popular one, right? Highly unpopular topic. Okay, anyway, hello everyone. Welcome back to the series where we use Bazi to decode the chapters in Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. Right. This is episode 9 of the series, and it corresponds with chapter 10 of the book, which is all about saving money. So, in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to use Bazi to explore your natural saving style. Now, please bear in mind in a sharing like this, we're just looking at the natural inclination when it comes to savings. This does not take into account learned behavior or cultural influences. And also, if you've been following the entire series, it's about time you start to experience the layering effect that happens in parts. Okay, and as I explain, I will endeavor to show you how the layering effect works. Right, but first, as always, 30 seconds quick intro. I'll make it fast. Okay, hi, my name is Pauline Cheng. In case this is the first time we meet, I am a Bazi and Feng Shui practitioner. I use this art to empower, not to disempower. I was formerly in the communications field. Today, I run my own micro one person consultancy. Okay, so in the course of watching this series, if you find that, hey, this is fascinating and you would like to explore your own chart further, my booking link is in the description. And the most important disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, guys. I'm a Bazi and Feng Shui practitioner, which means that I read energy. Okay, I'm not a licensed financial advisor or consultant or anything in that field. So please take this content as either for education or entertainment purposes. Okay. And of course, I hope you enjoy this content as much as I enjoy preparing it for you. Okay, so chapter 10 is save money. I think we can all agree that while investments are important, saving money can also be important, right? So some people save more naturally. Others find it more challenging. Okay. Later in this series, I will have an episode with suggestions on how to structure our savings portfolio. But first, in this video, we will decode the natural inclination of the chart. Okay, you cool with that? Right. So, key excerpts, right? The first idea is simple, but easy to overlook. Building wealth has little to do with your income or investment returns and lots to do with your savings rate. Basically, what this is saying is that we always think that we need to earn more in order to save more. Now, what this chapter is trying to say is that in order to save more, we actually need to spend less. I'll admit, this chapter sounds a tiny bit preachy because with inflation the way that it is, sometimes there really is a limit to how much we can save. But the author does have a point because frugality and financial conservation are part of the equation when it comes to building wealth. Next takeaway, the value of wealth is relative to what you need. Here, the author talks about learning to be happy with less. In his view, growing our paycheck is not exactly within our control, true, but how much we spend is certainly within our control. His point is if every time our paycheck grows and our expenses or lifestyle grows along with it, then the savings gap will never increase. Okay. I wish someone had told me that when I was younger. So in the next episode, we will actually talk about this as well. As you can see in parts, it's never just the one thing. Even something like finance, we need to check a number of factors before we can come to a definitive conclusion. And given how fluid the parcel system is, it's difficult to break things down for social media sharing, which is why I've always stressed that what I'm sharing here is your natural inclination, which does not take into account learned behavior or cultural influences. Okay. The next excerpt from the book: past a certain level of income, what you need is just what sits below your ego. Basically, what this line is saying, that people with higher personal finance success tend to be those who don't give a fish about what others think. They are the type who don't spend for external validation. Here in Malaysia, we have a lot of them, these hidden millionaires. Okay, they're walking around in shorts because Malaysians are very laid back people. Okay, they're walking around in shorts and slippers. You have no clue that they have so much money. Okay, and the next key excerpt: you don't need a specific reason to save. Of course, we can have a savings goal, saving for a house, a new car, retirement. But in actuality, what the author is talking about is we can just save for the sake of saving. This is supposed to be a hedge against life's unpredictability, and most importantly, the flexibility and control over your time is an unseen return on wealth. This is a point that the Morgan Housel returns to over and over again. Financial freedom is about gaining control over our time. So, are you ready to find out your natural saving style? Okay, now to do that, of course, again, I need you to plot your Bazi chart. Okay, I have the link in my video description for you. It's free to use, but you need to register. And register once, but you can plot as many charts as you like. It's open source, all right, and they will send you cool but entertaining promotion emails. Okay, and disclaimer: terminologies and Bazi charts in this free sharing are copyrighted materials belonging to Dato Joya and the JY Mastery Academy. You want to know more about what they do, go to joeyup.com. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, I need you to, if you're using the JY Bazi chart, I need you to scroll to the bottom of your Bazi chart, right to the bottom. Just scroll all the way down to the end until you see the set of graphics, right? And I draw your attention to the words, to the words at right at the bottom. It says main profile right here, main profile. Okay, this main profile is one of the 10 gods. Is talking about the strongest element in your chart. Take note which is it. In this example, it is indirect wealth. Okay. So now I believe it was episode 4. In episode 4, compounding, I shared about each of the day masters' view of their wealth star, and by connection, the relationship between the day master and the wealth star. So you can layer the key points from the earlier episodes with the natural saving style in this chapter, because the 10 gods each have their own way of saving money as well, because different objectives. Okay, they have their own view of what money is for. So as we go along, where appropriate, I'll give you some examples as well. So let's start with the easiest, the DW, the direct wealth. This is the classic saver. Okay, this is classic piggy bank saver, typically low risk. Direct wealth individuals tend to be motivated by a fear of loss. The need for control is very strong. So because of this, the conventional advice is to save and invest at the same time. And because of the need for control, invest in assets with long turnover periods. So let's take an example. We're still on direct wealth. Okay, let's say a Pink Fire Day Master. Pink Fire Day Master's wealth element is metal. So to melt metal, a pink fire has to work really hard. So if this pink fire is also a direct wealth profile, we can conclude that this individual can be quite a Scrooge, because I have to work so hard for the money. I cannot lose it. See, so this is how we layer the information. This is what makes Batu so endlessly fascinating. Okay, and in episode 5, let's moving now to indirect wealth. In episode 5, I shared that the indirect wealth star is the star that represents an abundance mindset. Therefore, we can conclude that an indirect wealth individual would also be someone with an abundance mindset, which means that they will be quite different from their pinching counterparts, their direct wealth, right? Yes, direct wealth and indirect wealth are two very different creatures. Okay, so certainly indirect wealth will wealth will be less penny pinching and less calculative, while their savings rate may be less than their direct wealth counterparts. Their ability to get better returns is higher because indirect wealth will tend to be more aggressive about seeking opportunities. The biggest difference between these two is that indirect wealth is not motivated by the fear of loss. That's the key difference between the two wealth style. The indirect wealth is okay with small losses as long as I gain bigger. Okay. So to simplify this, the direct wealth profile will be the type who are kind of like they're okay with those types forced savings type of insurance with a guaranteed return of investment. The indirect wealth, if it is particularly strong, will find that the returns are too low. It's like the indirect wealth will be going like, what? You mean I pay for 20 years and I get 50K? No way. Okay, not enough. So the indirect wealth are more likely to seek out higher risk, higher returns types of savings, because if it doesn't meet their threshold, it's a waste of time. Okay, so let's move on to the next group. All right, this is eating god, EG. Okay, if your main profile is the eating god, you already know money for you comes second. You have other values. Other things are more important. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that you don't love money. You love money because it affords you a certain enjoyment of life. Okay, it allows you to enjoy the journey. What the eating god does not enjoy is the endless calculation. So for an eating god profile to enjoy a higher saving success, consciously modifying or guiding your lifestyle choices is the key. So again, with the eating, let's do some layering again. In episode 8, I shared about the Bazi interactions and how they affect our money habits. So for example, if you can remember, if you have a punishment in your chart, it points to perhaps a potential problem with extravagance, and you are also an eating god profile individual, then chances are that luxury and extravagance are more important to you than money in the bank because you like to enjoy life, and because of the punishment in the chart, you think that you can only enjoy life when you are surrounded by luxury. See, all these are data points in the Bazi chart. The job of the interpreter is to tell the story. Okay. And speaking of extravagant lifestyle, okay, the hurting officers is right up there because hurting officer star is for showing off. That's what a hurting officer does. So of course, the hurting officer profile enjoys the limelight, enjoys being seen, enjoys the adulation and the admiration of others. So hurting officers will crave money to look good, so the risk of living beyond their means is pretty much higher in a hurting officer because the difference between eating God and hurting officer is this guy doesn't need external validation. Hurting officer wants external validation. Okay. So let's do another example. Okay. A metal day master's wealth element is wood. Wood regenerates, right? You chop off a tree, it grows again, right? So very good. What my wealth regenerates. Oh, very good. Okay, no problem. I just spend, right? And this said metal day master is a hurting officer profile. Will spend, of course, will spend. Okay, and then we add another data point. If the year pillar is unfavorable to this day master, and let's say he or she grew up in an environment of scarcity and lack. Okay, now that they've reached adulthood, does this person naturally feel entitled to spend? Of course. Is there anything wrong with that? No. With a profile like this, what we need to do is make sure that the person has a valuable skill set so that they can always earn more than they can spend. Okay. Now, next, direct resource profile is another one with a high saving success rate. This profile has got strong financial discipline because they don't like to spend money. Okay. Financial stability and security is the key very important for direct resource. So they will always make sure that they are well prepared for anything. All right. Retirement account, you got it. Insurance coverage, no problem. Emergency funds, no problem. Who's scared of a rob wealthier when you're a direct resource, right? Okay. So the indirect resource, on the other hand, this one's interesting. I like this one. Okay, they can save money, but what they love is actually unconventional methods. Indirect resource people are naturally curious cats. Curious cats, okay, not eating cats, curious cats. Okay, they like to study all sorts of stuff. They're very good at finding unconventional ways of doing things, and by extension, unconventional ways of saving money. The indirect resource profile, as I mentioned in earlier episodes, when trained, can be a good investor because there is a natural ability to see patterns and trends. Also, the indirect resource loves it when you outwit the market. Okay, so the direct officer, on the other hand, this is yet another one of the high savers gang. Okay, well organized, places a high premium on financial security, likely to be thrifty, certainly risk adverse, always wants to play safe. At this point, you can already tell that the direct wealth, direct resource, and direct officer profiles are the ones likely to have a higher savings rate. Now you know why these three, the DW, DR, and DO, are known in Bazi as the three precious. So for these three profiles, the easiest way is to generate wealth and savings is to literally buy property, because you already know they're saving. Okay, so what they do with their savings are maybe buy property, rent it out to get a regular income, and then wait for the property value to appreciate. This one they like that because it's like, oh, okay, this is the safest, right? Now the seven killings profile, on the other hand, this one loves the adrenaline rush. I've shared this in episode five as well. It's not that the seven killings cannot save; they just like the win more. They like to flip investments. The harder, the better. The adrenaline rush, all or nothing. Love it. So sometimes win big, sometimes gets into trouble. Okay, so let's do another example around the seven killing. Let's say we have a Wu Earth Day Master with a seven killings profile. A Wu Earth's wealth element is water, right? Okay, like a lake, hopefully a very big lake. Okay, a Earth has to make sure that there are streams of income feeding this lake. A Earth with a seven killings must have multiple streams of income feeding into the lake so that they have leverage to flip investments. This is how you start to pull the answers together. Okay, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Right? I know it's getting a bit technical, right? And finally, the last two. Okay, the friend profile typically does not like talking about money. Somehow, it's like either they feel it's beneath them or it's embarrassing to talk about money. There's also a bit of an ostrich mindset going on because when the friend star is extreme, they may even avoid addressing money issues like, oh, this is so below me, or money will come naturally. One, lah, I don't need to stress about it. Why I need to stress? Okay, so if you are a strong friend profile and if you also have a clash in your natal chart, you may find that your brain seems to shut down when people start talking about money or numbers. Okay, again, this is, guys, this is what is a natural inclination, but perhaps someone who is a friend profile, we need to check the past. Okay, someone who has a friend profile uh grew up in an environment where they were taught to manage money, to handle money, then you may not show these types of traits, all right? But in most cases, if you have this problem, then in this case, no choice but to learn. Having gained awareness, take action to overcome it. I'm beginning to sound like a broken record with this, right? And last but not least, the infamous rock wealth profile. This one is unique. The rock wealth profile, while talented about spending money, is also very okay with that. Even when they owe a lot of money, or if the credit cards are completely messed up, still can sleep at night, no problem. Okay. So in this case, don't borrow to spend, at least borrow to invest. Example, some people can find it, right? Example, I borrow from a low interest loan and then I put the money into a high yield account. And the difference between what you earn from the high yield account and what you need to pay back for the low interest loan is what you have saved, right? Some people can do that. So we need to just use this properly. Okay. So that's it for chapter 10. In the next episode, we will look into what drives you, what you want, what you really, really want. So, to take advantage of that, we will need you to know your hour of birth. That's for the next episode, right? Because we will be examining the hour pillar. But let's summarize this episode with the key takeaways. We all have natural inclinations when it comes to savings, our own natural style. Fighting these natural inclinations require too much energy, willpower, and determination. So, in most cases, it's easier to modify the behavior rather than to change it completely. Like, for example, like a very recent example, the Robert profile. Very okay with that. Instead of borrowing to spend, why not modify the behavior and game the system? Right? So, if you've enjoyed this sharing, I would appreciate if you could hit that like button. Okay. Share it with your friends too if you find this useful. Of course, please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, right? More episodes like this coming up, and you see this QR code right here. Okay, it links you to my brand new little tiny Telegram community. If it is if you like to join, then what you could expect is that you will be first to know. Then you won't miss any more new videos or new blog posts coming up. All right. If it's a consult you're looking for, booking link is in the video description. So, okay, and with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. And until I see you in the next video, you guys have a great day ahead. Bye now.